Janet Cortis is also the producer of this forthcoming thriller at our local theatre. Yes.
Jane is our prompt, and she's our prompt. Right, Jane Roberts is prompting. Just carry on, girls. Jane Roberts is prompting Julie Richards, who's playing Mary Stanwyck in Rayod's production of Revenge, which takes place in October 1998 at the Plaza Theatre in Romsey. Her co-star is Colin Clemenson, who will be with us in a moment, and then we'll do a short rehearsal piece for you. This is a thriller, and we have a moment where Bill Crayshaw is going to strangle Mary Stanwyck. So we're going to rehearse that because it's quite a difficult technical moment in the play.
To see you can be afraid. How do you feel now?
What are you going to do?
Cut the pretense. Stop playing games.
What do you mean?
Well, let's find the truth now, shall we? Just the truth. Do you think you can tell the truth, Cara?
Try me.
Right. Mark didn't call the police, did he? The police aren't coming.
Right, you can cut there.
Another lovely old building in Romsey is our public library. It was originally built in 1872 by one of the local parishioners as a schoolhouse. And now back to King John's house and the tea party with Barbara Burbridge.
On my way.
There you are. You want to tell me a little bit about what you do here?
Well, Don Hargreaves, of course, is the head of the entire trust, but I'm the chairman of the management committee, which meets regularly and actually puts things into operation. So we're the group that organise the special events, look after the fabric of the building, and generally present the building, trying to improve it each year as we go along by changing the exhibitions. And what else do we do? Well, actually spring cleaning, of course, as well. And we are very, very appreciative of all the volunteers who help with the cleaning and also help with the stewarding all the time. And we like to show our appreciation with things like our morning coffee party at the beginning of the season and a tea party to thank them at the end of the season. This is the latest publication of the Litvas group, which investigates the local history and the archaeology of the Lower Tess Valley, focusing on Romsey in particular. And this is the result of the work of a fairly new group, the Mills Group, which has really closely investigated the history of the mills, the techniques of the mills, and the actual sequence in which the waterways may have developed.
Signs of autumn. And it's cream teas in the Abbey Church rooms that have been organised by Mary Dovey.
We would like to do something to support the hospital appeal, so we're doing cream teas and cakes. We've had a good team of people who've made cakes, done a bring and buy stall, lots of cream teas. We've certainly had about 120 through, and we have many in the kitchen.
It's all Mary's instigation. Mary is the grand planner.
As always.
Wonderful job.
Yes, you do an awful lot for the Abbey as well, Mary.
Without all the supporters who've turned up and done everything today, it would have been a sad affair.
Raymond, Jerry. There's a few other familiar faces here.
I think this morning we baked 202 scones, but there's 201 here because I ate one. I say we because my husband did all the preparation, so we decided it was like Fanny and Johnny Craddock in the kitchen.
While on the roof of the United Reformed Church nearby, pigeons begin to gather. November the 5th, and a firework party at Broadlands.
I'm Angela Webley, owner of Cobweb Tea Rooms in Romsey. A lot of tourists and regulars come in here.
Morning, Derek. What's your name?
Julie.
Oh, hello, Julie.
Hello.
How long have you been here?
I've been here for about 5 years on a Saturday, and I've recently started working, well, about a year ago I started working full time.
One of my paintings called Nature's Design. Through Tea Court, here is Sue, our only traffic warden. Wet October morning, we meet with Michael Colvin, who is arriving for his morning surgery. Good morning, Michael.
Morning, Rex. What a soaker.
Yeah,
Really is. The ducks are enjoying it anyway.
absolutely.
I'd say.
Well, Michael, what does it mean, a surgery? Here you are visiting Romsey's Conservative Club. You have your office here. What does this really mean for Romsey people?
Well, the firm base that every Member of Parliament has is his constituency. And constituents have problems. There are a number of places they can go and have them sorted out, but the last resort is usually the Member of Parliament. So I come here once a fortnight or thereabouts, and they book an appointment. Some MPs just have a free-for-all, but I like the idea of the appointment because then I've got some idea of what the problem is before I see the constituent, and I'm able to do a bit of homework and be better prepared to try and solve their problems. But it's much appreciated by constituents, and I don't know a member of Parliament who doesn't have the same sort of system.
This is a new constituency, isn't it, Michael?
Well, it is, because every 10 years the Boundary Commission adjusts the boundaries of the constituencies to take into account the movements in population. And the old Romsey and Waterside constituency, which I'd represented from the time of its conception in 1983 until the last election, had just got too big. We were up to 90,000 voters. So the numbers have to be reduced down to around 65,000, 70,000 voters, which is what has happened. As a result, I've lost the whole of the Waterside bit, that's the west bank of the Solent, into a new constituency down there called New Forest East. And yet we've enlarged the Romsey bit to include now a great chunk of Eastleigh, everything this side of the M3, and a big chunk out of Southampton, which includes half the university. So I've got a lot of very exciting and excitable students and university lecturers to contend with down there. And we've gone way up the River Test, as far as Long Parish, and over to the west to Middle Wallop with the Army Air Corps. So it's an enormously complex constituency, but still, the heart of it all, as it was with the Romsey Waterside constituency, is still Romsey. And when you talk about Romsey, you're really talking about this side of the railway, because Romsey is really two towns. And Rex, as you all know, with your paint box going around the Test Valley, there's an enormous amount of interest and history in this town. My first real interest in Romsey was not just drinking Strong's Forest Brown, because the brewery here, of course, was a very important part of Romsey. And during the war years, when I was a schoolboy, I think my first taste of beer was Strong's Forest Brown. Those days, alas, have gone now, and it's tragic we no longer have a brewery. But my real first interest in Romsey as a town came as the first vice chairman of Test Valley Borough Council. We always felt it was very important when we put together all these little councils to make one big one called Test Valley, that the first chairman should come from the Romsey end. And Hugh Finmore was a man of tremendous stature, both physical and mental, and he was a superb first chairman, and I was the vice chairman from the top half of Test Valley, which of course is about 2/3 of the total population. But then I soon came to recognise Romsey as a town of enormous historical significance, with the abbey there like a sort of jewel in the crown. And I had some little part to play in designing the first coat of arms, which you've heard about earlier. That, coupled with the River Test through the middle, the Broadlands estate, some of the new industries which we're seeing, makes this a town and a constituency of enormous interest. And of course, I'm the first ever MP for Romsey. We've never had a Romsey constituency before, and it's an honour to be the first.
And here comes Nicola Colvin.
Good morning, Nicola.
He's done surgeries. We're off to visit someone in Romsey Hospital.
Are you?
Yeah.
You're a big support then, Rick. You certainly are, aren't you? That's really nice. Thank you very much.
Romsey there. He's very lucky to be the MP.
It's November the 8th, a rather damp morning to the start of Remembrance Sunday in the park.
Standard bearers, and that is.
Welcome everyone to the Memorial Park on a rather soggy Remembrance Sunday. If we suffer discomfort today, it's a reminder of the sacrifice and discomfort borne for us by those that we remember today. We sing the hymn, Eternal Father, Strong to Save. Eternal Father, strong to save, whose arm hath found the wretched way.
Inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness.
God save our gracious Queen, long live our noble Queen, God save our Queen.
I'm at the Abbey Hotel at the moment, and this is a very well-known playwright of ours, living originally in Romsey, Peter Turson. Peter, can you tell me something about yourself?
This is a good day for me because it's the first reading of the community play. I was commissioned to write a community play. And so now I am looking forward immensely to meeting all the actors and everybody who wants to be in it, and designers and so on. So it is a great moment. We'll see how it goes from here.
Now this community play, Peter, when will this be performed?
Well, it's going to be performed in July of next year. Is that 1999? Yes,
I think we're there, yes.
Yes, thank you. This is going to be the first workshop of the play, and it's a very interesting moment for the director because then she sees who's going to turn up to be in it and who can do what and which skills they can contribute, you know, whether acting or design or direction and so on. And so it's a very important moment.
Have you a title for the play? Have anybody thought about the title? You have? Tell us about it.
Right. Well, the title was always a bit of a mystery. It always is in a community play. You think, what can I call it? But I called it Hold Fast. Everybody said, well, that's a very interesting title. What does it mean? And I had to inform them, and it's the Romsey motto. You didn't know that?
Excellent.
And here comes Angie, one of our local post ladies.
How are you this morning?
Hello, Angie. Well, my name is not Trayhorne, as many people think. It's Trayhorne.
Aha, so I've been learnt a new thing. They say you learn something new every day.
That's
I've been
right.
mistaken all these years. Thank you for putting me into the picture. I'll see you later.
It's mid-November, and meanwhile in the marketplace we find John Cloudsdale and his willing team of volunteers who are putting up the Christmas lights in the marketplace. A massive undertaking for anyone. Another notable building in Romsey is Edwina Mountbatten House. They are also preparing for Christmas. And here's the Mountbatten symbol. Albert Dutfield, our friendly window cleaner, has volunteered to hang the Christmas lights for well over 30 years. And here is Bob Ellis, his companion.
Right, count down from 10 with your help. And we need you to shout as loud as you can. Down from 10 to the switch on. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, switch on!
Christine Pashby-Taylor is secretary of another very worthy voluntary group called the Talking Newspapers.
This is Romsey Talking Newspaper. We're just coming to the end of 4 years. We have somewhere in the region of 50 volunteers, and every week they produce an edited version of the Romsey Advertiser for blind and partially sighted people within the town of Romsey. Friday morning sees a team of 3 readers and a technician coming in to record edited highlights, and at the moment people are editing while I'm speaking. The afternoon sees a team of 2-3 people come in to copy tapes and get them out, and listeners receive them on Saturday courtesy of the post office. And we have just under 100 listeners.
I'm a technician for this Romsey Talking newspaper, and I'm really setting up the equipment for these people to talk into their microphones and keep the sound level recorded.
What are you up to here?
Well, I'm the first reader of the team of 3 here. There's the 2 other ladies on my left, and okay. And the point is that we come in early, about 3/4 an hour before we're going to record, to go through the Romsey Advertiser for that day, and then we edit it what we consider will be of interest to the listeners.
Somebody had been missing about these.
Oh.
The Talking Newspaper for the week ending the 11th of December, in the run-up to Christmas. Located here in our new studio, right in the centre of the town, we're surrounded by all the visible signs of Christmas, with Christmas trees, plenty of coloured lights, and the rest of the celebratory decorations. So we feel that Christmas is very much on its way. But we've got a few days to go, and let's get on with the news. So without further ado, I'll introduce our readers for today. Myself, James Dunning.
Maureen Woolley. And Janice Middleton.
And our technician for today is Alan Price. And now for the first item. Underneath the banner headline is a very nice little piece entitled Milestone in Sight for Christmas. Romsey Hospital Appeal has topped £90,000 this week, the anonymous donation of £800. The challenge is now on to reach the magic milestone of £100,000 by Christmas. Who knows? Perhaps the fund will receive a nice large donation, which will surprise us all, said the appeal chairman, Dr. White.
A jury found Michael Rowley, 46,
from Barclays Sight Savers Initiative and support from the British Trust for Conservation Volunteers enabled residents to rebuild the derelict pond in the wood, which has become a haven for many varieties of creatures, including dragonflies.
And now, first prize goes to Brad Beers in the multiple class for the Best Christmas Shopfront Award. And second place goes to The Age of Elegance. Small independent class goes to Oakwood for the first prize.
I've been here just for a year.
Hello, Kim.
Hello, Rex.
Would you like to tell us a little bit about yourself, perhaps, and the way the organisation has been put together?
Yes, I'd be delighted. My name's Kim Fielder, and I'm Director of the Cancer Care Society. I started with the Society in the middle 80s and joined it because I was really interested in the work of the charity, which was set up in 1971 to help people emotionally and psychologically in coping with cancer. That's not only the people with cancer, but their relatives also. In 1985, I decided that it would be a good idea to open a centre in Romsey, and I actually contacted some of the people I'd counselled, being an oncology counsellor, to ask if they would give their support, because I realised I couldn't do this without the support of volunteers. And it was actually in November 1995 that we opened Jane Scarf House, and we've just celebrated our 3rd birthday. But you may be interested to know, Rex, that we opened the centre and then really did exceptionally well in our first year, quite unexpectedly. Applied for a lottery grant, and we were successful in our application, having 2 assessments, which enabled us to set the project up for the centre here in the Corn Market. So perhaps you'd like to tell Rex about it.
Yes, I mean I've come in to actually try and get the lottery going, get the plan going. And we did in fact start doing group work back in August with 2 small groups that were going quite well. We're on our 2nd lot now in the new accommodation, which is absolutely splendid, and it's just wonderful to see people getting together and being able to share and talk about things that are exciting and painful and challenging, when sometimes they're unable to talk about that to anybody else.
Can I ask you both, what happens once I've gone to the doctor and discovered I've got cancer? What do I do then that you can offer me? I believe the service is free.
Well, possibly your doctor will put you through to us, or you may have found us in one of the directories or at the hospital. And if you come along here, then you'll probably be referred either to Kim or myself, possibly for one-to-one therapy, which is going to enable you to really have a good talk about what the problems are. And we can enable you to work out what's going to be the most helpful thing for you. Or you might want to come into the group work and meet other people who've got similar issues to work on. And that's the bit that I work with.
And what practical things are you doing here?
Yes, aromatherapy, there's reflexology. Coming here to the group work, you can either work on issues around bereavement, stress issues, and in every session that we do a relaxation slot so that people can learn the techniques of being able to relax.
About the charity, and I think our strength really is our friendliness. When people are distressed, they don't want to come to somebody who's austere and abrupt. And so we make people feel as welcome as is possible. And so many people who come to us say when they walk in, they just feel that warmth. And I think it's really important that they have that experience, particularly when they're feeling really distressed.
Yes, and I think just because the subject is serious, it doesn't mean to say you have to be solemn about it.
No. People come to us and they want to be, in inverted commas, positive, but they don't really know what that means, and they come to us and say, will you please help us to be positive? We want to live in a positive way, but we don't know how.
And you're looking for volunteers most of the time?
Yes, we are. We are. We rely entirely on volunteers, and I think it's such a shame that volunteers are often seen to be amateurish, but they're not. They bring their expertise. So, you're finished for the day?
Yes, I think so. I think you've just finished now.
Good.
Had enough now.
We're going to have some. Yes. All we have to do now is close our eyes.
Put the blankets on.
Yes. There's the time.
Walking down the quiet country lane. As you walk down, you find a gateway in the hedge. You go through